delegates. As a representative of Finland at the United Nations Environmental Programme, it is our duty to address one of the most pressing issues of our time, climate change. This global phenomenon has far-reaching implications for our planet, affecting ecosystems, economics, and the well-being of the communities worldwide. Today I stand before you to discuss Finland's perspective on the critical matter of the purpose collaborative solutions. Climate change is not a distant threat, but a reality that we are already witnessing. The signs are evident in the melting ice caps, the erratic weather patterns, and the increasing frequency of the natural disaster. Finland, like many other nations, is feeling the impact of these changes. Our environment, which we cherish and depend on, is under threat, and urgent action is needed to address this crisis. Finland is specifically facing rising temperatures, changes in the biodiversity, agricultural changes, economic impacts, among other issues. Climate change is a global issue that requires international cooperation and solidarity. Finland is deeply committed to multilateralism and the power of collective action. It is hence Finland's pleasure to tackle these issues and hopefully find solutions together with you all. Thank you.
Hello everyone.
So, climate change is one of the most significant threats into our planet, affecting ecosystem, economies, and community worldwide.
And the Republic of France recognized the urgent need to address climate change and its multifaceted impacts.
So we propose to stop importing the nuclear energy, but we still export our energy to the European country. Also, we have a plan for renovation in France to improve the energy efficiency of the building, and also invest in research and development into renewable energy and to find a new alternative.
And then we want to ensure that the climate transition is equitable and socially inclusive, specifically for the most vulnerable households. We are proposing a 65 billion euro social fund. From farm to work is a political and food strategy aimed at promoting sustainable and environmentally friendly food production, distribution, and consumption, like using local products in school canteens. And we want to encourage the promotion of electric car and promote alternative for individual transport, such as carpooling. So we need together to combat for the climate change for our child and our future. Thank you. Merci.
To reduce greenhouse gas emission by 55% by 2030, to abolish the use of coal for electricity production, to recognize of mobility. Going forward, we will transpiration annually review to monitoring completing will or climate goal. This is start in the Climate Action Act. Each sector will be recognized to the east part. The CO2 balance will review and repeat corrective action will be take if we from the planet course. Conclusion: climate protection can only be science and joint protect. Thank you.
So, our country is a post-crisis historical moment. Moreover, to economic development, it's equally important to try to find a better eco-sustainable policies. Environmental issues is significant for Greece because we want to protect our country, civility, people, our nature from consequences and disaster emergent from climate change. So our position, we are a lot of problem in Greece. For example, how can we prevent the forest fires? And when it's not possible, how can we reduce the damage? Also, how can we find a balance between the people request and the intensive fishing? How can we reduce, for example, the trout fishing and the pollution of sea caused by the motorboats? And finally, how can we reduce waste and improve our recycling? So Greece tried to act for environment throughout several actions. For example, in 2001, the European Commission created the mechanism of civil protection of fire with 27 members and 9 participants, and Greece is one of the members. Also, in 2016, Greece adopted the National Adaptation Strategy of Climatic Change, and in 2022, Greece adopted a national climatic law for decreased greenhouse gas of 55% before 2030 and 100% before 2050. So we have some solutions. For example, barriers to stop fire at forests, and helicopters also for the fire's assistance and become a participant of the mechanism of civil protection fire, and also reduce the temperature with reduce the greenhouse gas. Also ban trolls fishing in its marine protected area. The Greek ban will go into effect in 2026 for marine national parks, and in 2030 for all marine protected areas. It's important to reduce sea pollution and protect certain fish types. And for finish, we want also reduce 20% of waste in each Europe country. That's it for us.
Honourable members, Italy recognizes the critical importance of addressing climate change. In alignment with the objectives set forth by the European Green Deal, Italy has implemented the National Ecological Transition Plan that aims to guide the country toward carbon neutrality. Data indicates that Italy has achieved significant progress in reducing greenhouse gas emissions, which have decreased by 32% between 2005 and 2023. Additionally, the use of renewable energy has increased by 19%, which is in line with the European average of 22%. Furthermore, Italy has introduced the 110% Super Bonus initiative, which is a program that incentivizes individuals to install a renewable energy system in their homes by offering substantial tax reduction while simultaneously improving the energy efficiency of residential buildings. Our solutions are research and development, education, urban transformation, and monitoring. So we aim and suggest to implement collaboration programs, networking, and also the sharing of skills and knowledge, while also developing sustainable transport and also monitoring the emissions of greenhouse gases, while also checking the quality of water, biodiversity, and establishing this system that can help Europe assess the state of the environment and track progress towards sustainability goals.
Thank you, delegates. You may be seated.
So about the Macedonia, like other European countries, is committed to addressing carbon emissions and climate changes. The country is likely to align with Europe's carbon strategies, which may include targets for reducing greenhouse gas emissions, promoting renewable energy sources, implementing energy efficient measures, and participating in international climate agreements.
So this year, our country's position is likely taking various measures to reduce carbonates, climate change, and environment sustainability. These measures may include renewable energy promotion, energy efficiency programs, climate politics and regulations, and
So, in the past, Macedonia has taken various steps to reduce carbon emissions, including promoting renewable energy sources, implementing energy efficiency measures, and participating in an international agreement like the Paris Agreement. They've also worked on importing public transportation and encouraging sustainable practicing in industrial and agriculture.
And our proposed solutions are reducing the carbonates in Macedonia could involve initiatives such as transitioning to a cleaner energy sources like solar and wind, enhancing public transportation infrastructures to reduce reliance on carbon-intensive vehicles, implementing stricter emissions regulation for industries, and promoting energy-efficient practices in building and increasing public awareness about the importance of carbon reduction.
First of all, we would like to thank Belgium for always gathering us together in the most pleasant way possible. Thank you for that. Once again, prove that Brussels is the capital of the European Union. A big applause. Okay, yalla, khalas, we do not have much time. As the Netherlands, we truly take this problem seriously. So what definitely needs to be discussed is the critical state of the air quality. Therefore, we would like to address the agriculture practices and how it's negatively affecting the air quality.
The Netherlands has been actively working on improving air quality as a critical environment and public health issue. The country agriculture sector, particularly intensive livestock farming, is a significant source of nitrogen emission, contributing to the air pollution and environmental degradation. The Dutch government has implemented several policies aimed at reducing these emissions, such as promoting sustainable farming practices and reducing livestock numbers. However, a transition to more sustainable agriculture practices have proven challenging. Farmers face economical pressure, including the high cost of adopting new technology as participating and practicing potential loss of income during the transition period. So that's all the rest.
Okay, hello guys, we represent Poland, and let's start. As we know, Poland is active member of European Union and support most of international environmental agreements. However, Poland does not support the European Union countries' goal to reduce air pollution in zero by 2050. We believe we can achieve only 13%. Currently, the main environmental problem in Poland is air pollution. We are making many efforts to solve this problem, but the situation is complicated by Poland depends on non-renewable energy sources. The COVID-19 pandemic, the war between Russia and Ukraine, the refugees crisis, and the rejection of Russian oil have all harsh of our economy. We have some solution. For example, first one is extending the transition plan to renewable energy solution until 2070. Second one is created the European Financial Center to help countries dependent of oil and gas and transition to an eco-friendly parts. That's all. Thank you for your attention.
Good afternoon. In the wake of escalating climate change impacts, Portugal acknowledged the pressing need for decisive global action to mitigate greenhouse gas emission and adapt to the shifting environmental landscape. Recognizing the urgency of combating climate change, we place great importance on transitioning towards renewable energy sources such as solar, wind, and hydropower. As a nation situated on the front lines of climate change, with vulnerabilities ranging from coastal erosion to agricultural disruption, we understand the urgency of confronting this existential challenge.
Firmly committed to the principles of sustainability and environmental stewardship, Portugal seeks to play a proactive role in international effort to combat climate change and achieve carbon neutrality by 2050. That's it.
Delegation of Slovenia, you may have the floor.
Okay, so as a country located in a part of the world that is especially vulnerable to climate change and its effects on the local region, Slovenia supports the committee in addressing the urgent need for radical and swift action against climate change. As a signatory of the Kyoto Protocol and the Paris Agreement, Slovenia is committed to helping stop the rampant degradation of our environment and help build a more sustainable future, not only for the local region, but for the whole world. Slovenia has been successful in reducing its fossil fuel emissions to the point that it ranked 9th on the ranking of the 2003 sustainability rankings. Ever since we have been recognized as a developed country, we've also helped other developing and underdeveloped countries in their campaign of CO2 reduction. And for our propositions and solutions, we are proposing restructuring of the economy for a less fossil fuel dependent economies, promotion of renewable energy, especially nuclear energy, reducing transit, because Slovenia is burdened by an immense emission from traffic, as it is a transit country, and above all, increased adaptivity, because Slovenia has been hit by multiple disasters in the past few years and would like to help itself and other countries in adapting to a changing climate. Thank you.
Good afternoon. We are representing Spain, and we are here to address one of the most pressing challenges of our time, climate change. Spain recognizes the urgency and severity of the climate crisis, and we are fully committed to taking decisive actions to combat it. Spain faces unique challenges due to its geography and Mediterranean climate, from drought and desertifications to rising temperatures and forest fire risks. Our nation is feeling the impact of climate change acutely. Moreover, as a country heavily reliant on tourism, we are acutely aware of the risk extreme weather events would pose to our economy and livelihoods. In response to these challenges, Spain has implemented robust policies aimed at reducing greenhouse gas emissions, promoting renewable energy, improving energy efficiency, and adapting to the climate change. However, we acknowledge that there is still much work to be done.
Spain has already taken significant steps toward a sustainable future, from hosting COP25 to being a signatory to the Paris Agreement and the Kyoto Protocol. We have demonstrated our commitment to international cooperation on climate action. We have developed a comprehensive strategy who include renewable energy, energy improvement, sustainable transportation, carbon pricing mechanism, research and innovation investments, sustainable agriculture and circular economy initiative. We know the complexity and challenges of the transition to a low-carbon economy. Therefore, we advocate for a balanced approach that considers the need of all sectors and stakeholders. We oppose the classification of nuclear energy as a green energy and seek to delay the ban of the production of combustion engine cars to support our vital automobile industry. Spain reaffirms its commitment to becoming a carbon-neutral country by 2050. We call upon our fellow delegates to join us in this effort for the benefit of our current and future generations. Together, let's work toward a sustainable and prosperous future for all. Green España, Green Europa, and Green World. Thank you.
Okay. So, the Kingdom of Sweden recognizes the urgent challenges posed by climate change, impacting ecosystems, societies, and economies across the globe. Sweden is fully committed to addressing this issue and its far-reaching consequences. As a participant in the Paris Agreement, Sweden stands firm in leading global endeavors to curb greenhouse gas emissions and foster sustainable development. Sweden has actively engaged in global climate initiatives and has a solid history of environmental leadership. Hosting the Stockholm Conference in 1972, Sweden has demonstrated long-standing dedication to sustainability. We aim to cut carbon emissions by 40% by 2030 compared to 1990 levels and achieve carbon neutrality by 2045. Nationally, Sweden has enacted various policies and measures such as promoting renewable energy and enhancing energy efficiency to meet these objectives. Through these endeavors, we hope to reduce global carbon footprints. Sweden proposes the following measures to address climate change and its impacts. The advancement of renewable energies, like to adopt more renewable energy sources worldwide, carbon pricing, energy efficiency, the electrification of transport, and more international cooperation.
And distinguished delegates. Delegate of Turkey speaking. Climate change stands as one of the greatest challenges of our time, affecting ecosystems, economies, and societies worldwide. The Republic of Turkey acknowledges the urgent need for collective action to address this pressing issue. As a country situated at the crossroads of Europe and Asia, Turkey recognized the significance of achieving carbon neutrality by 2053 and is committed to contributing to global efforts in combating climate change. Turkey recognizes the importance of transitioning towards a low-carbon economy, has taken significant steps towards this goal. However, it must be affirmed that Turkey faces unique challenges and constraints achieving carbon neutrality by 2053 as a developing country with a rapidly growing population and economy. Turkey carbon neutrality plan anchored in principles of equity, common but differentiated responsibilities, and respective capabilities as outlined in United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. While Turkey acknowledges the necessity of reducing greenhouse gas emissions, it emphasizes the need for a balanced approach that takes into account its socio-economic development priorities. We are going to discuss main problem and solution idea in general speaker list. Thank you. So, as a representative of Turkey, we will talk about main problem, Turkey. Our economy and our collective fight against climate change is crucial to recognize the unique challenges and opportunities we face. Our economy is robust and diverse, driven by innovation, investment, and strategic location. However, economic difficulties such as global uncertainties and fluctuations can delay our ability to invest in clean energy and sustainable practice. These economic challenges not only hinder our progress in reducing emissions, but also widens the gap in social economic inequalities, leaving vulnerable communities at risk. Turkey remains committed to its climate objectives. We understand the importance of transitioning to a low-carbon economy and have taken steps to reduce emission. Yet, we urge for international solidarity and support to overcome the economic hurdles hindering our climate efforts.
Thank you, Delegate, for your speech. What would you like to do with your remaining time?
You can take it.
Okay. Delegate of Turkey yields this time back to the chairman. You may be seated, Delegate. Thank you.
I can start? Okay. As we said before, we really want to focus on the air quality topic and especially on the agricultural part. The absence of comprehensive agreement on agricultural reform as highlighted in recent discussion underscored the complexity of balancing economy viability, environmental sustainability, and social acceptance. Despite those challenges, the Netherlands continue to explore innovative solutions and collaborative approach to drive agriculture sustainability and improve air quality. To achieve those goals, we have some solutions we can offer you. Firstly, we have the 25 regulation and insensitive, like puts more strict regulation into the farmer, but providing them financial incentive and subsidies for farmers who adopt the sustainable practice to encourage them to go to more sustainability's way. The other solution we can offer you is promoting research and innovation to try to develop new way of farming. Also, enhancing education and support, like learn to the farmer how could they do that. And finally, international cooperation, like we ask also, and we can give us some help to try together with the European Parliament. Thank you.
I will start hitting table from now on.
Because you said that we're supposed to prepare our speeches.
According to delegates of Spain, you may be started.
Okay. While Spain is fully committed to the reducing greenhouse gas emission and transitioning to renewable energy sources, we believe that nuclear energy should not be considered as green energy source. While nuclear power generation does produce relatively low carbon emission compared to fossil fuel, it poses significant environment and safety risk. The disposal of nuclear waste remains a major challenge with long-term consequences for the environment and human health. Additionally, the potential for catastrophic accidents, as evidenced by events such as Chernobyl and Fukushima, underscore the inherent risk associated with nuclear power. Furthermore, the high cost and lengthy construction times associated with nuclear power plants make them less viable compared to renewable energy sources, such as solar and wind power, which contribute to see rapid advancement and cost reductions. In light of this consideration, Spain opposed the classification of nuclear energy as green at the Parliament. Instead, we advocate for a holistic approach to clean energy that prioritizes renewable sources, energy efficiency, and innovative technology. Thank you for your attention.
What would you like to do with the remaining time?
We open to questions?
Okay, delegate of Spain has opened themselves. Any further questions? Are there any questions?
Gosh.
Question, delegate of Netherlands.
I'm going to kill you.
Please raise and state your question.
Because you say that sustainable energy is more viable than nuclear one, but do you know how many wind machines do you need to replace one nuclear farm?
Delegate of Spain, do you accept this question?
Yes, yes.
Okay, delegate of Spain has accepted this question. Your time is started now. You can answer it.
Do you know how many people can kill one nuclear plant, and how many people can be killed with the turbine?
Zero.
So in the Chernobyl, more than 10,000 people have
Now
died.
there is new regulation. Chernobyl can't happen again.
Fukushima, less than 20 years ago.
But like we are in Europe, there is regulation to like work on this. It's impossible that a nuclear accident like this happen again in Europe.
Well, it's still not green.
Yes,
you know.
it's green because there is zero gas emission, zero.
But the waste.
The waste.
Yeah, there is some waste, but like there is
And we don't know what to
nothing
do with it.
compared to the gas emission like of fuel or stuff like this.
It's to take a problem to but we still don't know what to do with this waste, and it's to take a problem, move it to another. Because there is no emission, but there is not a waste.
The hugest problem right now is the gas emission. Like if you don't do nothing, the Earth would be died in like less than 1,000 years. And like, for the waste, we have some kind of solution right now. They are creating like huge spot, like huge waste spot, like underground, to store them.
Yeah, but our proposal is not to do nothing, just to focus more on the sun and wind rather than on unpredictable, expensive nuclear energy.
Not realistic. You cannot use only sustainable
I mean, in Spain, back in Spain, we have a lot of sun. We are cooking.
Sorry to cut you off, sorry to cut you off. By the way, it was really good discussion. It was great. Yes, I really liked it. But like you, as you can see, this kind of discussion can happen. So maybe you should keep this discussion in the motions. Like maybe you can raise a motion about nuclear energy. And also a little technicality and format information. After they accepted your question, they actually answered it. By that time, you don't have right to speak, like ask another question. But if you want to ask another question, you will raise and you will say motion to follow up. And then you can ask a follow-up question to them, according to their answer.
Even though their time is done?
No,
Yeah,
because the discussion was so good, we let them discuss.
So we also have to be
two things to be considered. One is time, the other is motion to follow up, if you want to ask further questions. Yeah.
If another group want to ask, would they say motion to follow us?
No. Let's say Netherlands asked the question, and then he wants to ask again. He will say motion to follow up. Another delegate cannot answer. Besides, cannot ask a question before Netherlands is done asking questions. Okay, delegates, you can take your seats.
Okay.
And last but not least, delegates of France, you may have the floor.
Thank you.
Okay, delegates, you have.
Yes.
You may start.
So we want to talk more about nuclear energy because we produce a lot of it. So before we already said that we are ready to stop importing nuclear energy from other countries. The past year we have already managed to reduce our import to around 27 terawatt hours. Also, we are not proposing to shut out all our nuclear center because we export a lot of energy to many countries in the European Union, including Germany. This export capacity play a key role in the stability of the European electricity grid and our economic stability. We can add that nuclear centers do not pollute or emit carbon dioxide. So we are currently looking into an environmentally responsible solution for securing our nuclear waste.
And then to finish, we propose also to create a high institution Council European for the climate, charged to studying decisions taken by the state member and recommending action to combat climate and to be ensure that our guidelines are in line with the fight against the climate change, changement climatique. Thank you.
Another information, when you're done with the general speakers list, please don't go to your seats before I say so, because I will ask you the question.
Because he's the boss.
No, I will ask you the question since you have like 3 seconds left, but yeah. What would you like to do with the remaining time?
Do you want to take a question or?
Yeah.
Yes, we are open.
For 3 seconds, are there any questions for the delegates of France? No? What is your name? You may be seated,
Okay, thank you.
Now, we will actually move on with the actual discussion, motions and stuff. So, basically, we will ask questions.
Bettering the air quality. Oh no, I have to do this with a British accent. Okay, let's redo it. So, by bettering the air quality, we would like to enhance education and support. So by doing that, we will develop comprehensive training programs for farmers to educate them on sustainable practices and the benefits of reducing emissions. Also establish support networks to assist farmers in the transition to sustainable methods. We believe by educating and training the farmers, they will know how to effectively practice their agriculture. Thank you very much.
That's really good speech for motion, but that's not a motion.
Sorry.
That was really good speech, by the way. You can actually do this in a motion, so I will help you create a motion with this one. So which one is it?
This one.
Okay, basically delegate of Netherlands throwing a motion in order to discuss enhancing education and support in order to for comprehensive training program for farmers. Basically, that's the motion. And then you can read the rest in the motion. Okay, total. Are there any motions? Other? Italy? Please raise and state your motion. Okay. We will vote after.
Can we sit down?
You can sit.
In the utilization of renewable energies can assist in establishing a common approach for European countries that have yet no using these such energies for different reasons.
That's a good one.
Should I say also the time? No, later.
Later. Okay. Now we will actually vote for the motions. So delegate of Netherlands, please rise and raise your motion, and then we can vote on it.
So by bettering the air, So by, sorry, I have to rephrase it. Okay. So what we can do by bettering the air quality, we would like to enhance education and support for farmers.
Okay, are there any favors for this motion? Please raise your placards up high. Are there any favors for this motion? If anyone wants this motion to be discussed, please raise your placards. Are there any in favors?
Belgium is in favor.
If you want to talk about this motion, raise your placards. Okay, this motion clearly fails. Italy, can you please rise and state your motion?
Again?
Again. The motion fails. You need to restate your motion. If your motion fails like there, we will need new motion. Guys, please don't fail any motion.
How countries that are leading in the utilization of renewable energies can assist the countries that are not using them at all for different reasons.
Okay, if you want this motion to be discussed generally, are you in favor? If you are in favor of this motion, please raise your placards, these ones, up high, like this.
How many do you
If
need?
you are saying
Point
yes,
of information.
we need at least simple majority of the House to this motion to be discussed.
Present point of information.
Point of information.
I'm sorry, can you repeat it? I can't miss it.
Like basically our countries that are using and actually are leader in using the renewable energies can help countries that are not using them.
Okay, basically, countries using renewable energy can help the other countries who are not using it.
How?
How they can help it. That's the motion. Okay, are there any favors for this motion? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that is the simple majority. This motion clearly passes.
So we believe it's really important to share best practice or experience and know-how to create some kind of guidelines for some countries that are in difficult to implement this kind of system because of, for example, economic problems like our colleagues from Turkey were saying before. So that's why we create these motions, because we really want to build a green European countries all together. Thanks.
Delegate of Netherlands, please rise and state your motion.
I have to rise also?
Yes.
I just bounce on what they just said, right? We're talking about the same subject. Okay. What I'm gonna say? Yeah, I think it's a good idea that all PE have to like stay together, and it's like kind of a deed to help each other. But we have to find which way can we do that. Like, is it only by economical way, like by giving money? And if we give money to country to help them build the sustainability way energy, what can we get back in return, like depending on how much money we spend on it?
Delegate of Spain, please raise your hand.
Tamam. Just come in.
Spain are in favor with what Italy said, and we think to beat the climate change, we need to all work together, and we are ready to share our expertise and create guidelines. Technology and give technology resources with country facing challenges in adopting renewable energy solution. Whenever tree capacity.
Your time is up.
Okay.
Delegates of Turkey, please
Turkey.
rise and state.
Genel. Wait a second, please.
Yeah, firstly, thank you for help. We are not that much poor, so if you countries don't know, I will tell you. We will tell you. So, in the renewable energy system, we call a project or something, and the firms will invest. I think in Italy, you want to invest, you can invest, or Spain, you can invest. We are calling for the
Thank you, Delegate,
projects.
for your speech. Your time is up.
You can invest directly.
Delegate of Portugal.
Portekiz nerede? Neresi? Yes.
So we're in favor with this because we are a country that actually use renewable energies, and also we think that it will promote an international cooperation and a future that is more greener. And also we feel like it's the European spirit, and we should help all the countries. Thank you.
Thank you for your speech. Okay. Now we have like 3.5 minutes left. Are there any delegates wishing to speak on this motion?
We also absolutely agree with Italy because we understand that majority of our European country has a different economic system, and for example, like in Poland, at this moment we don't have the best economic in Europe. We have some economical problem with the bar, and so we think we need some help in our future for a change our ecology system, and I think we will need in all help from other economical countries in Europe. Thank you.
Okay, guys, can you, like, as I can see, you are getting the hang of it, like how it works, motions.
Okay, so just to be clear, we were not talking about giving money to countries that are in difficult, because also Italy doesn't have the money for it. We want just to share experience from countries that know how to use them, that they have the experience to help us to implement maybe what we already have in our own countries. That's the point, not economic things. The economic problems was just like an example of why we don't have them.
Your time is up. Thank you.
Abi Türkiye'ye gidiyoruz.
So we want to add that the renewable energy sector is a private sector. So you can share the experience, you can send engineers, but they're working in the private sector. So we can make a project, then you can send experts, but we still money. We don't need experience, because if we call a project, they will also coming for money, because it's private sector, you know.
Thank you, Turkey, for your speech.
Hasan'cığım kime gidiyoruz?
Sweden.
Tape. Okay, so Sweden invests in research and development of clean technologies and innovations quite a lot. Sorry. So we would be happy to help share resources and advice. Actually, I'm going to keep it at that. We'd be happy to help a greener Sweden, a greener Italy, a greener Europe, greener world.
Thank you, Sweden. Next up, France. You may have the...
Hi, Italian. We agree with you and we want to help you for the transition. And in France, we have a lot of energy, I think. So we can share with you and we can discuss also with the budget because we need money also. But we are open for you. Yeah, thank you.
So Greece agree with Italy. It's a good project, but I agree also with Turkey that we need money for this project. Maybe we can, you can share your advice with other country, but money miss. So maybe we can do another project, add another project to you for like collect money.
For this motion, as a delegate of Germany, we kind of agree with Italy, like sharing expertise, our expertise about renewable energy sources, and also we can really understand like Turkey and Greece's economical crisis. So basically, we should suggest a creation of a committee to control expertise and also collecting money for this kind of situation. Thank you.
So our motion is the creation of taxes for European countries who import energy from non-European countries.
Okay. Can you please rephrase your motion again?
European countries who import energy from non-European countries.
Okay, motion Slovenia. Please raise and state your motion.
Okay. Okay. So, as the delegation of Slovenia, so we put forward a motion to reaffirm nuclear energy as green energy because we believe it is an integral part for a green transition into a carbon neutral world.
Of Finland, we put forward a motion to provide financial incentives for the purchase of electric vehicles to support the transition to electric mobility by 2040.
Okay, so the proposal of Slovenia is that we affirm the nuclear energy as green energy, but the fact is that nuclear energy is already affirmed as green energy since February 2022, so we think that this whole debate is nonsense because it's already affirmed as green energy.
Okay, thank you, Spain, for your speech.
Good. Okay, so I'm totally agreeing with Slovenian, and I think the nuclear energy is the only way right now to be green as soon as possible. And that the better way to do it. And also I will want to add that we have to continue research about like nuclear fusion. That can be the better way to have energy. That's all.
So Italy is not completely against nuclear energy, but for us the problem is the price because it's too high for us to create and maintain nuclear reactors, and also the price for nuclear waste disposal is very high. And there's also the problem of public opinion because we had different referendums in the years, and our population is always against nuclear energy. So for the moment, is not the correct solution for us, but maybe in the future, if we have the opportunity to do this, we will help you and contribute with the nuclear energy. Thank you.
Question, because we think it's a really good way for good green energy, but we have a problem with the money, because at this moment we building one atomic station, but it will be closed only in 2033 years old. Also, we think it's a problem with Uranus, because for work this station we need to have clean uran, and only some country has this resource in their territory, and I think we can use this energy only in all European countries will work together. Thank you.
Sweden is next.
Okay, thank you. We as Sweden agree with Slovenia's proposal. We want to support energy that has low greenhouse gas emissions. Also, reacting to the prices that both Italy and Poland mentioned, the initial costs are high, but they have long operational lifespans. And it's more important to think of long-term benefits to the planet and our mission for carbon neutral Europe than the short-term setbacks. Perhaps we could create a financial plan to help other countries manage the financial costs of this.
Thank you, Sweden.
Nuclear energy power construction finished last year, and we will start this year. We start the nuclear power searching in 1970s, but we affected from Chernobyl, so north part of Turkey really affected, and it took too much people from us. But with the improvement in the technology, the negative waste can decrease, and if we build one, it's not that much expensive. So I agree with Slovenia.
Thank you. Well, the delegate of Finland does not exactly dispute that the nuclear energy is a clean energy. We believe that it is not the most appropriate energy to use because we are skeptical of certain environmental issues such as water discharge damage. We also believe that there may be radioactive waste that are harmful, that remain for long years. So we will not be taking a step forward with the nuclear energy because we are skeptical of the overall conclusion. Thank you.
Thank you for your speech. Next is Macedonia.
So we agree with our neighbors Slovenia, and we think that Macedonia has the potential to pursue nuclear energy as part of its energy mix, but however it would require a careful consideration of various factors, including the safety and the environmental impact and the cost, the regulatory frameworks and the public opinion. Thank you.
Thank you, Macedonia, for your speech. Next is delegate of Germany.
Okay. As a delegate of Germany, we are really shocked that no one addressed the risks of nuclear energy. As you know, we got a law to shut down our nuclear centrals. Basically, the risk is too much to oversee. And also, let's talk about greenness, about nuclear energy. So what will we do with nuclear wastes? Okay, we might not polluting the air, but what about groundwater? Also the dirt itself, the products we grow, eat, drink, and all those stuff. That doesn't make any sense for us, and we highly motivated to vote against this issue. Thank you.
For me, it's hypocrite because you are the first client, to export our energy nuclear, So I don't know why you said you are against, because you are the first acheteur. Enfin,
Producer?
non, il exporte de chez nous. Consumer, yeah. Thank you.
Slovenia, up please.
Great. Yes. Yes, we all know this story about Angela Merkel in 2010 when she said in political campaign that she will close all of the nuclear plants, and it almost happened. They have like free, and it is about 1% of their resources. And also majority of physicians in Slovenia, and I don't know how it's in Europe, but I think it's the same, support the nuclear energy as good and safe. And we have good examples like France, Finland, Sweden and Belgium that has very good nuclear plants. And I don't know why Netherlands, if it's really supporting it, why then you don't have like any nuclear plant.
Thank you, delegate of Slovenia. Your time is up. Next delegate is Italy.
So we are facing a challenge in establishing nuclear plants. First of all, because we close all our old central, because they are too old and we cannot use them anymore. So we have to build new one. But our first problem is that we don't have a deposit for that, and next year our waste that are right now in United Kingdom will come back to Italy, and we don't know where to put them. So that's the first problem. And second, we have a lot of seismic area, so we have no opportunity to build this central. So I'm wondering if you all are sure that you can create this central in your own country.
Next is Portugal.
So we oppose classifying not. Wait a minute. So we oppose classifying nuclear energy as green because despite its low CO2 emission, it involves significant risks like radioactive waste management, nuclear accidents and high costs, which conflict with the sustainable and safe renewable energy principles that Portugal upholds. And we also agree with Germany on the matter.
Yeah. Thank you. The delegate of Finland would like to raise your attention to one issue, which is that the fuel used by the nuclear energy is usually uranium, which is not renewable. So are we considering that issue, and if it is considerable, how are we going to take the future generations into consideration? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chairboard and distinguished delegates. We would like to first address the question of France. Yes, we were like shutting down our nuclear centrals, but the reason behind those like Fukushima accident, we cannot prevent human error. Like there are like too much of examples in the past, and also for Turkey, yes, we've been using energy a lot because like if you're familiar with the Soviet Cold War area, the world was blink of a nuclear war, so yeah, we need to take our precautions. And also, we took this law to close our nuclear centrals in 2011 with Angela Merkel government, but we postponed it a bit in 2022 to 5 years later because of the energy crisis happened in Ukraine and Russia war. So we are still believing energy is green, but it's too dangerous to use it. Thank you. there any delegates wishing to be speaking in this motion? Slovenia, followed by Sweden, followed by last two, followed by. Are you going to ask me questions? Or I will be German. No? Okay. Followed by. Okay. Followed by
Spain. Yes. İlk nereden başlıyoruz?
Slovenia.
Yes, so Slovenia is the third most exposed country in Europe to earthquake, but we still have like a nuclear plant, and it's still standing. And in November we'll have a referendum about building the other nuclear plant, and it's going to pass because, as I said, around 85% of Slovenians agree with the nuclear energy. And yes, we can see what's happening with the Germany economy right now because it's not really in growth. Yes, with Italy, I have a question. Why we Slovenians, as really smaller economy, can afford it, and you, Italy, who has much bigger economy, can't afford it? Yes, thank you.
Next is Sweden.
All right, so reacting to what Germany said about the energy is green, but it is too dangerous. Instead of not using it, perhaps we should invest more into figuring out ways to make it more safer. In Portugal, also mentioning the accidents that happened in Germany as well. While what happened in Chernobyl and Fukushima was absolutely terrible, there have been so many advancements since to make it more safe that it's not a good reason to stop using them. Instead, we should just keep on improving.
Next is Spain.
Okay. As Spain said before, we should not go for a nuclear solution because we still don't know what to do with the waste after. So we just move a problem to another. So we should not consider nuclear as a green energy.